Boom, boom. This is Ken Everybody. Welcome back to the channel. A little bit of Azur Lane on top. So we got another big announcement. So let's go ahead and talk about it here. All right. So as you know, maybe confusion here. Call to Arms Northern Front was the event we just had the last 2 weeks. That was a rerun event. This is a new event, Call to Arms Northern Parliament. So don't confuse that with the previous event. This is started 217, runs until phase 1 runs to 224, which is in about 5 days. And then we're going to pick up with the second phase. But as always, when they have these events in the second phase, they generally give us new ships. Well, they have and are giving us a new ship, and it is a UR class ship. That's Kronstadt. So this is a new Russian ship. So ultra rare. Notice large cruiser. So she is a frontline ship. So this is the best frontline ship in the game right now is Azuma ultra rare. She's a priority ship, DR ship. I have her full. And I'll show you her here shortly. As you know, I've spoke about her before. I've had videos dedicated to her simply because of the fact that she is the best frontline ship. She's a tank. She does not die. Now this is Kronshtadt. So this, as you can take a look, she's got an A, an S on hit points, which means she's going to be a tank like Azuma, and she's going to be shelling. Now this might make her a little bit better than Azuma, possibly, simply because of the fact that she is going to probably do a little bit more damage than Azuma. That's one of Azuma's big thing is about survivability. And she doesn't really, in terms of damage, she does damage, don't get me wrong. She does pretty good damage, but she's not really, you know, like super into damage, which is not what she's for. She's for survivability. She's a vanguard ship. So Kronshtadt is going to be hopefully something to compete with Azuma, because what you need for Azuma is ridiculous. I just finished her a couple of days ago. I'm serious. I just finished her fate simulation. She does have a fate simulation, but she is the best tank in the game, and I use her in my PvP fleet as my tank. And it's one of the reasons I'm able to beat ships that are much more higher level than me and higher power in fleet, simply because of that. But her fate simulation, which I have completed, does give her an increase to her special gunnery training. Plus, she gets a +1 to that. Which allows her to higher efficiency, which means she gets off more barrage, which makes her do more damage. Plus, you get the luck 25, which is the innate ability that you get. Luck affects multiple occurrences within the game, but they're all innate. So, but that's the big downer of priority ships. They didn't have any luck. Fate simulation gives them luck. So DR ships get 25, and I think the PR ships regular get 15. 15, yeah. Regular PR ships, party ships get 15. DR party ships get 25. So we're just waiting for FDG's Fate Simulation. That's the one that's supposed to be out next. I've already saved up 81 blueprints for that, so I can start tackling that when it comes out. So Kronstadt's going to be coming out. She's going to be the new ship, and she's a UR ship, so we're going to have a pity. Interesting to see if they actually keep those shipbuilding tickets in there. That seems like that's going to be, the way I'm understanding when I read is it's going to be specific to each event. So I guess they might be in there. We'll see. But if it is, that'll help. But the pity should be 200, so just make sure you have the cubes set up so that when the build does come, the special event build, you'll have enough wisdom cubes to actually do it. Okay, so that's it. So yeah, so another UR ship coming, at frontline ship. So I'm serious, if you guys are new players or haven't been in the game long and have, you know, like me, I've been playing long enough that it's not really a big deal. I've got frontline ships that can survive just about anything, as well as Zoom. But this is a chance for you to get your hands on a frontline ship that you can use well into the end of the game. She's going to be UR class, so her stats are going to be premier, and damage, shelling, premier as well. So it'd be nice to have a frontline ship that's set. Right now, you really got Azuma, Seattle's a light cruiser, so you know you can function well with her pretty good. So this, Udachi with her retrofit makes her UR as well too. So that's good in Frontline. Just for notices of sake here, I am currently testing her out inside of PvP, and I really haven't had much trouble with her as of yet. As you can see, I'm running Azuma. I got FTG, Jersey, Shinano. I'm testing out Shimikaz, and I'm testing out Udachi. And I run them in PvP, and I run against max level fleets, 13, 14, 15 power fleets, to see how they survive. As to whether or not there'll be something. And then I just sit and watch the front line. As you can see right now, this is a 13 fleet, so you can see how fast the front line goes down. Okay, so it looks like yeah, well, didn't get a chance to see that. Now they're in the back line. So that's what I do is I like to test them out in the back line because it helps out a lot just to see exactly, what's going on in terms of that. As you can see, they're still alive even though it's almost the end game. So as you can see, Shimika survived. So I have noticed that she has very good survivability, frankly. I was really surprised because I had her and I was putting her in the center because you said, the ships on the ends take the most damage. So right now, Shimikaz and Azuma are taking the most damage. Okay, Udachi's in the center. The advantage that Shimikaz has is evasion. She's much faster than Azuma. Azuma's got a ton of hit points, but she's not very fast. She will survive. But I'm really, really impressed with Shimikaz's survivability for a destroyer. So I'm my rating of her, I'd given her an okay rating. As far as I'm concerned, she's top tier. I don't know what anybody else is saying about her, but I think Shimikaz is definitely one of the top ships in the game right now. Okay, I would suggest building her like I do, get her up to 125, max out her equipment, because for frontline, I'm thinking right now, Shimikaz, Udachi's doing okay as well too. But she's a retrofit, so you have to retrofit her. So it requiring blueprints and all, or to do that. So you're going to need that stuff to do her retrofit. Okay, but you can do it. It just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of money. But you need her item as well. So if you don't have the item, then you're not going to be able to do the retrofit. And that item right here. So if you don't have this item, you're going to have to wait until the event comes around because it's a special item and event. It will end up being stuck into the core where all the other items are at for San Diego and for Warspite. It will end up being put in there. It's in the shop. What if I keep going shop? Munitions. It'll be put into the prototype shop here sometime soon. Okay? Because this is the San Diego retrofit item. This is the Warspite retrofit item. So I would expect we're going to see, I think it's barbecue sauce for Udachi. It's going to be put in here pretty soon. Until then, you can't complete a retrofit. You have to have it. So if you didn't do the event, which was some time ago, you can't do the retrofit for her. Okay, so you might not be able to do that right now. So, but Kronstadt looks like she's going to be a perfect a UR frontline ship. So it's going to give us another ship to go on the front line. So Azuma, she's a priority DR ship. Shimikaz and Kronstadt as a UR front line. Okay, so that's what we've been waiting for. Something that could really fill it out with UR ships. And she does that. I was hoping it was going to be Sibitsky Skoyez, but we'll have to wait for her. So in turn, it's going to be Kronstadt. So a frontline cruiser. Okay, so yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think she's going to be a really good ship. So just get those, get those cubes, start saving them up, and we'll see how things go. So let's talk about the flip a little bit. So first phase in the flip is, as always, the 4 ships. So you want Aurora, Mikasa, Vampire, Pamiat. Pamiat has a retrofit. Do it. Makes her an excellent ship. She becomes nearly unkillable. Okay. What you do a retrofit because she's just so fast on evasion, and she's like super tough. So definitely want to go ahead and do the retrofit first. She's another frontline ship that you might want to consider. if you're looking for something survivable in late mountains. But she's with the northern part, so you want to do her. I've already got her up to 120. Mikasa, Mikasa is Sakura Empire, Vampire. I believe Vampire is H. I want to say Vampire's. I think Vampire's HMS, but don't hold me to that. Then Aurora Palmet, of course, Northern Parliament ships. So that's going to be Phase 2, which will come out on the 24th. You have a nice little portrait frame right here. Okay. And this is, of course, obtained by the points. The points are, of course, as always, based on that from the mission. This is from the previous one, not the current one. As you can see, you can use those 4 ships inside of these sorties, inside of these specific stages, but they must be max limit broke, and they must not sink. So you're going to get them. So the reason they give you the first phase is to get those 4 ships. They give you plus 20 in experience, so you can get them to 70 as quick as possible. Max limit break them. I would not stop at 70. I would actually take them to 90 if at all possible, just to make sure that there's no problem or worried about them sinking. If you get them to 90, A2, A3, B2, B3 should not be a problem of them being sunk in any way, shape, or form, as long as they're at 90. C2, C3, D2, D3, that you might have an issue because those are the hard mode version of the event. So, you should be able to survive. A2, A3, B1, B3 should not be a problem with a ship that's at 90, fully limit broke. They got to be at 70 to get them limit broke. Okay, so that's what you want to do that just in case the build does not go your way. If the build does not go where you don't get one of the ships, then you might not be able to get the 2,400 points needed to get the portrait frame. Thus, you got some bonus, what I like to call extra credit points that you can get right here. So if you come up a ship short, you can usually get enough to get the points anyway, just as long as you run these 10 times. I did not run them because I did not even need to participate in this last event, because I did it the first time it came out. Had already max limit broke all the ships and everything. So it was completely, just situational time for me. So I did. So I worked on a few other things, basically priority ships. I finished Anchorage, USS Anchorage. She's a priority ship. But again, another ship that you can use. But again, DR ship, priority ship, blueprints. She's Phase 4, so blueprints are long down the line for her. So, but this is a chance to get, this is a chance Kronstadt, Frontline ship, UR ship. You'll be able to fully, let me rephrase that. You'll have to make sure that you have the special bullets to max her out. Those bullets are obtained inside of the prototype short, these right here. You need to have these. Okay, you will need about 4 or 5 of these. I think it's 5. I think it's 5. 1, 2. It might be 4 or 5. I think it's one of them. But you need these. Regular bullets won't work. The only thing that can do her is another copy of Kronstadt and these bullets. So make sure that you're, as you can see, I have sufficient to purchase more than enough of these, because I do the, I just play the game all the time. So, but you'll need these as well to level her up. Okay, so that's where you're at that point. But yeah, but you'll at least have the ship, and you start as you're playing the game. You'll get enough of these points. Those points are obtained inside of here. This is a constant. It runs weekly all the time. Okay, so you can get what you need here. Do the part, run, and you'll be able to get these, which you can then use inside of the actual thing to get the fronts that you need. So, but you'll have the ship at least. You won't have to then, and it'll be easier to level her up. And once you start getting those, you can limit break her. So you'll be able to complete her much faster than you would one of the DR ships or PR ships inside the priority ships, because they take longer because of blueprints. So this is a chance for players, early to mid-game players, to get a really, really, really good frontline ship. Okay, that's one of the big things that you have as your newer player, is getting something that'll survive in the vanguard. Like I say, there's only a handful of them. Shimikaz, hopefully if you played, she was just like 4 months ago, so 5-6 months ago. Shimikaz is survivable on the front line. The last one we had was UVH, but UVH is backline battleship, so not really no help there. But for frontline, This is a frontline ship. So now you can have a consistent UR frontline Shimikaz, Azuma, and Kronstadt, and Udachi. If you do her retrofit, that makes her a lot more survivable too. Okay, but understand for those ships to be, you gotta max them out, get their equip them properly, max out their skills, get them to 120, get their raise, take them to 125, and then you'll notice that there's 5 ability as I just showed you in that little PvP excursion there. Shimikaz is fine. She works great, and she does pretty good damage. She was the MVP for the damage. So as you can see, she's a really good ship, and definitely something that you want to do. And she's UR, so what could you say? So yeah, that's what I would go for. But yeah, Kronstadt. So another UR ship coming in 5 days. So go ahead and get in there, get those 4 ships for phase 1 ready to go, and then when the phase 2 comes out, we'll start running some sorties and we'll do an event. I'll do a video. We'll show back, talk about the event and whatnot. But don't look for change. It's going to be the same as all the other events. It just be an interesting story. That's what's really good about these events is they have a really good story. So you definitely want to complete the event, and we will complete it, and we will max it out, and we will purchase everything. The shop for the previous event is still up. I really didn't focus on it too much. I got enough of the intel points to get what I wanted. I got the gun. Okay, got the intel report gear, and I got the blueprints, cognitive chips, and we got the parts. Now, I'm not sure if this is a new item, this shipbuilding ticket. These are only good through the event. I don't know if this is going to show up in the next event. We'll see. It sounds to me like it's going to be in every event. They're going to have option for these. This is good because this allows you to build a ship without a wisdom cube or without having money. I think this is everything included. It's a ticket. You don't get much of these. I think in this last event they gave us like 6 of them, but that you could get inside game. But there was a way to get, you could purchase another 5. So I assume you're probably going to be able to see about 10 of these. I don't know if it'll be in the new events. I don't know if this is only going to occur for rerun events or if it'll be, but it sounds to me, putting it in the shop, that it's going to be a permanent thing. I don't want them to make it permanent. If they're going to make it permanent, they need to put the cognitive array back in, because they took the cognitive array out and placed it with the shipbuilding ticket. I want cognitive arrays inside of the event shop because you need to get cognitive arrays. You could only get 9 a day of the cognitive arrays. Now, as you see, cognitive chips, I have 100,737 cognitive chips, but I only have 1,200 cognitive arrays. And that's about as most you're going to have, because I've do my dailies every day, and I purchased all of them in the shop when they were there. So that's about what you're going to have. But it takes about 200 to do a ship, 200, 300 to do the ship, taking it from 120 to 125. So you don't need a whole bunch of them, but I would like a little bit more flexibility on how to get them. Since they're only offering 9 a day, I'd like to have a way to get a supplemental stash, and the way to do that was from the event they had in the last couple of events, and then they took it out and put that shipbuilding ticket in there. So I'm hoping they'll reintroduce the cognitive array back into the shop on this new on the new event. And I would like to see the tickets as well, because I'm a little bit low on coinage right now, because I just completed wrong way. I just completed Alaska. Or, I'm sorry, not Alaska, Anchorage, which is Anchorage is in Alaska, but it's not Alaska. I completed Anchorage. So Anchorage is completed. Again, another frontline option as well, but priority ship, 400, 500 blueprints just to do the level 30, another couple hundred to do the fate simulation. So yeah, it's going to be what? FDG took me about 7 or 8 months, and I still, we still haven't got her fate simulation. Azuma took me about a year to complete, build her, get all the blueprints, and then complete her fate simulation. So it takes a while for that to happen. So yeah, so Anchorage is not going to be usable for at least 6 or 7 months. But in the meantime, and you might not even have enough points to start building her if you're a new player, because you have to have a certain amount of points As you can see, it requires points, which points are obtained by fully limit breaking ships of the same fleet. So you might not have had that, but so yeah, I'm working on. I'm doing parseable reporting from a personal reference. I want to have my strongest fleet is my Ironblood fleet. I want to have an aircraft carrier in my backup line fleet. Graf Zeppelin is not bad, but Parseval is an S on her aviation. She's an awesome, awesome aircraft carrier. So I definitely want her. And as you can see, B on AA, hit points A, so survivability non-option, and then she's going to be dealing out smack ton of damage. So that's why I'm finishing her up. And since I use my Ironblood fleet all the time, I'll have her built. I'll have this data collection completed in probably a couple of months, easy. Maybe 1 month. And then I'll be doing BP exchange to get a lot of the blueprints needed for her. Going to need 288 to get her to Dev 30. So I can get quite a bit of them, as you can see. So I'll have her built pretty fast in terms of that. I was originally going to throw those into Anchorage, but then we got turned right around and got our hands on Kronstadt coming out here. So I'm going to hold off on that. Since that's probably not going to be used, and I'll probably most like them for them at Parseval, so I can get my aircraft carrier for my Ironblood fleet, which is what I want. So then I'll have a background of Bismarck, FDG, and then Parseval. I'll be annihilating things with my Ironblood fleet, making it much, much more stronger. Don't get me wrong, Tirpitz, not a bad choice for backline. Excellent ship, does a good bit of damage, but she's a battleship. I want a carrier. It's always good to have aviation damage because they can do a lot more damage than they can drop down a ton of damage if you build them properly. So that's what I want to do. So this will just make them a little bit stronger. Plus, I like the look. So, you know, it is what it is. After that, I will probably end up going to Curry, simply because of the fact that I want to go ahead and focus a little bit on my IGN fleet. I love the stat line, BB on evasion and anti-air, and then we got SS aviation and hit points. So again, another veritable crap ton of damage. So yeah, that's something I want to look for, another carrier. Even though I'm already top heavy, we've got Shinano from the Secure Empire, which is an excellent, excellent aircraft carrier. But I don't have Akagi. I gave it up on her. I mean, I literally, guys, I've spent $1 million oil on 3-4 trying to get her, and I just haven't got her. So I'm just not even doing it. I've got Kaga like 4 times. So I just gave up on it. But in the meantime, so this will be able to. It's not a problem because I just put Shinano in my backline. I usually run Nagato, and then I'll put some other ship on the flank, and then I'll run Shinano and Nagato in the backfield. So this will give me something to keep more with the actual fleet. Another aircraft carrier. Which is what, you know, Imperial Japanese Navy was with their Kibutai. So this will sort of give us that feel. So yeah, I'll be doing her. She is DR ship, which means I think she's DR. Yeah, 1.2. It'd be 1 million if she was a regular PR ship. So 1.2 on that, and it's probably going to be 2.4. Yeah, so she's a DR ship. The difference in the fact is, like this right here, if you look at her collection, she's only 2 million. And then on her primary breakthrough, she's only 1 million up here on this. That indicates that she's a PR ship. And as you can see, the stat line, S and A, B and C. But then you go look at hers, and you got S, S, B, B. So she's a much higher stats, which makes her a DR ship. FDG and Azuma are DR ships. So it's 2 levels of priority ships. There's priority ships, and then there's DR ships. And she's DR ship. She's going to take her a little bit longer to build. My thing for building Anchorage was simply because of the fact that I wanted to have a little bit more options on my front line from a U.S. Eagle Union fleet. And I like the look, so that's what I went ahead and did. But yeah, so... But I'll probably go, hey, it's a toss-up. I mean, I really don't need anything from this year, simply because my Ironblood is already pretty much built. Yeah, this will probably be my next shot. Carrier for Secure Empire. But yeah, so the event's coming up, guys. Get ready. Get ready to knock that out. Kronstadt UR ship is coming. And we'll have to see. But yeah, it looks like we're going to have a viable fleet, main fleet that you can have when you have 3 UR ships in your vanguard position. Should hopefully improve capabilities for 12, 13, and 14. I can already auto 12. So really haven't had much trouble. You'll be able to auto, but you're going to need some healing. Just make sure that you have UE there and San Francisco. These 2 right here will be your healing. As you can see, I've got them both at 125. I can auto 12 with them in the fleet simply for the healing, supplemental healing. No problem whatsoever. 13, I haven't finished with 13 completely yet, so I haven't had a chance to test whether or not an auto would work. I'll have to design it and go from there. But yeah, 12 turned out to be not that difficult with those 2 ships in there, so I don't think I'll have much problem with 13. 14, we'll have to see. But yeah, there's a little bit of mechanics that change in 14 with the stealth ships and whatnot, so we'll have to see. But yeah, so that's it. So get those 4 ships leveled up and get ready. The fleet come out, and we'll go ahead and get ready to dip in there and hit for Kronstadt. We'll do a video when the actual event comes up. We'll talk a little bit about her. All right, so thanks a lot for watching. Remember to subscribe. Once you subscribe, you'll see the bell. Click on it. You'll be notified each time I drop a video. So remember to like and share the video, as it will help the channel immensely. It's Kendra coming at you from the corner, signing out.